Freddy Davis here, President of MarketFaith Ministries, coming to you once again from the library. MarketFaith Ministries provides radical disciple training to help believers become more knowledgeable of and confident in their Christian faith. We are a lay seminary in a can. Today's question has to do with praying once again. And the question is, what is a good technique to help me interact with God on a personal level? Now, this is kind of difficult sometimes because we think of God often in terms of being somebody that's impersonal. And so what I recommend is, rather than using a formula process, that we use what I call prayer scenarios. Now, prayer scenarios imagine that God Himself, or Jesus, is actually physically with us when we pray. Now, this is a legitimate way to think about praying, because even though we can't see Him with our physical eyes and hear Him with our physical ears, when we pray, God really is there with us. Now, prayer scenarios starts with what I call the attitude. That is, we have to have the right frame of mind when we enter into the presence of God. We have to recognize that He is the All-Holy One, and that we do need to have deep respect for Him, but also that He's our loving Father and that we can have this intimate relationship with Him. From the attitude, we move to number 2, the touch. I recommend that you imagine that God is with you, and that you take His hand or kind of go up next to Him and just imagine touching Him. This brings together the reality for us of His actual presence with us. Step number 3 is the embrace. At that point, we move and give Jesus a hug, and we can do that as a means of helping us to actually experience the presence, feel the love of God as we begin to interact with Him. Step number 4 is the communication. This is where we actually sit down with Him and talk back and forth about the things that are important for us to talk about in our prayer time. And finally, the ongoing fellowship. That is, once we exit the particular moment of praying that we might be engaged in at any particular time, that we remember that He is always with us, and be able to just step back into that interaction with Him at any moment. This way, we interact with God in a way that we know and the way that we understand relationships to be. If you'd like more information about worldview or about the Christian worldview, then you're invited to check out the MarketFaith Ministries website at www.marketfaith.org.